5 starts now.
Good evening, I'm Lauren Culber.
And I'm Chad Mira. Thanks for joining us tonight at 5. In our top story, 2002 was the last time Democrats fielded a full slate of candidates in District 1 in Williston.
But this year, the party has filled up the slots. Jim Olson is here and joins us with more.
Yeah, that's right. I got a chance to speak with the 3 Democrats and 3 Republicans who are hoping to represent District 1 in Bismarck. Tonight, we focus in on the race for District 1 House.
Why don't more people get involved?
Lindsay Walsh couldn't figure out why Democrats have so seldom filled the ballot in recent years in Williston, so she threw her hat into the ring and is joining another first-time candidate, Krista Parkinson, to run for District 1 House. Walsh is a 6-year resident of Williston who is in law school at UND. She thinks that making oil hub cities and school funding more long-term is critical.
For me, it's all about making sure we have school funding and a formula that's going to work long-term, and it's going to keep families in Williston permanently, because the more people we have as a part of our community, the better it's going to be for all of us over the long term.
Fellow Democrat Krista Parkinson says the failure of a school bond issue in Williston spurred her interest in running. She's lived in Williston since 2004 and thinks that previous legislators haven't seemed to keep the city at the forefront.
Looking back at the voting records of our legislators, I just don't feel like speaking up for Williston is the #1 priority. So I just feel it's really important that we look at Williston's priorities and Williston's needs and really focus on those.
On the Republican side, there is one newcomer to legislative politics and one longtime representative seeking re-election. The new face is David Richter. He is a longtime school board and Regional Education Association member. He thinks that the so-called Operation Prairie Dog to adjust oil funding distribution and make it long-term rather than 2 years at a time is the right approach.
Also included in this legislation is a no sunset clause, which means that now you can plan 5-6 years down the road. The stream is not going to be pulled out from underneath your feet. I think that's huge.
Fellow Republican Patrick Hattelstedt has served 12 years in the State House and agrees that the new funding legislation makes sense. He says legislators must also acknowledge that Williston continues to be a hotbed for population growth.
School funding, I think, will always be an issue, but especially here now with the rapid growth and the need for new buildings and property tax issues. So money and sustainability of that funding, I think, is critical.
So it's a bit of an unusual year with 4 names on the ballot in District 1's House race. The top 2 vote getters will be winning seats for the 2019 state legislature.
Jim Olson, thank you very much.
And on Election Day, voters around the country will decide which party will